to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much for coming here today. First, I'd like to start off by introducing any elected officials. Any elected officials, would you please stand and identify yourself?
Dave Goldthorpe, Malheur County District Attorney.
Our district attorney. All right. Well, thank you very much for this meeting. During his service as state representative and as our United States Senator, Jeff Merkley has emphasized fighting for success for working families. That means fighting for good-paying jobs, strong public schools, and affordable college and health care. Just last year, he fought to deliver Pell funds that are important for Malheur County. He vastly increased the investment in broadband infrastructure and led on legalizing hemp as an agricultural commodity and is pushing for federal agencies to quickly create regulations and for the industry to thrive. Jeff is a native Oregonian and a son of a millwright. He was born in Myrtle Creek, Oregon, and his family moved with the timber industry to Roseburg and then to East Multnomah County. He was elected as a state representative in 1998, and in 2007 he became Speaker of the House, and he held that position until he was elected to the U.S. Senate. He began his involvement in policy as an intern for Oregon Senator Mark Hatfield in 2009, and he was sworn into the same seat Mr. Hatfield held. Jeff holds open town hall meetings in every county, and this is his 15th town hall this year and 411th overall. Please help me welcome Senator Jeff Merkley.
Everybody, thank you for coming to join the conversation, and thank you, Mayor, for emceeing today. And I'll share a few remarks, and then we're going to turn to your questions and thoughts. And I believe, did you get a ticket on the way in? So did anybody not get a ticket? Kind of, okay, we can get you one right here. So that give everyone an equal chance. I think, Mayor, you're going to mix up the tickets and fold them. Great. So at the start of each town hall, I like to shine a light on an organization that's contributing something of significance to make it a stronger community. And today we're going to shine that light actually on the very organization that runs this facility we are in, the Vale Senior Citizen Center. And I think Francis is here, and I don't know if Irene wants to come up and join us as well.
Yep, you want to join?
So thank you for hosting the town hall. And it's a very beautiful facility, and a lot of things happen in this place, including things like lunches and exercise classes. What kind of exercise classes?
Just gentle, very slow exercises, because we found out that with senior people, the slow exercises are better for them, and they help strengthen their legs. And it's very interesting. I tried it once. I never made it the hour, I can tell you. But they're really great. And then we have another class.
Sure. I'm going to put you right on here.
What? Really? You just made it miss up my thing.
What else happens here?
Well, honestly, we do a lot of things. We have, we open on Monday and Wednesdays, and sometimes on Friday mornings. And we have cards available. We have ladies that put puzzles together. We have others that do, just come in and sit and read. And then at noon we have lunches for all of us, and that includes the Malheur Council on Aging provides the food, and we provide the site for them to get the food here, and then the volunteers take the food out to the shut-ins and people that need to have meals. And they, the people that receive the food are in charge of calling the Council on Aging to set up their schedule. And we just we feel it's a very good way for us to help our community. And we are thrilled that we are now can have things like this to be able to have people come in. In August of last year, we were able to receive the ownership of this building and was deeded from the city of Vale, who was gracious enough in sometime in the 2010 or 15, they stipulation that we could not have anyone under 60 in here for 5 years. We had to show that we could maintain this building, take care of it, and be good stewards of it. And we were able to do that. So now we are the proud owners of this beautiful facility.
Used in an appropriate fashion that has been flown over the U.S. Capitol.
Thank you very much. At the center, and so we have some new ideas, and so we're determined to make it better. We're open for input.
So volunteers, donors, and
Whatever.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, there's plenty of things we can talk about today. I'm going to be, and we'll turn to all of you. There's a lot of work to be done in housing, in education, and good paying jobs. There's a lot of challenges to our national institutions. And by that I mean the challenges that we see in terms of gerrymandering, voter suppression, dark money, things that are really corrupting our we the people constitutional vision. And we need to reclaim that vision. We weren't set up by our founders to be a government by and for the powerful, but by and for the people. And then we have a host of other issues, agricultural issues, forest management issues, so on and so forth. So whatever is on your mind, feel free to speak. We'll ask that if somebody's speaking that you just dramatically disagree with, still please be very respectful of that person have their say. We'll ask everyone to do the same when you're sharing your ideas. And we often start with a student, and I'm not sure if our student is. Would you like to ask the? You know, I have an Albanian speaker on my staff, so you can call my team anytime.
Okay. Okay, so this was a surprise, so I did not really have a lot of questions. But what I've seen here in America, I'll say the health is kind of an issue, like how the insurance works and how everything kind of folds up into it. What would you make better?
So in terms of availability of housing? Okay, thank you. I imagine that in Albania you probably have a national health insurance program.
Yes.
And so just by living there, you're covered, you don't worry about it too much. And it's a little more complicated here. And that complexity, it's pretty stressful. And one of the things that I've invited people to give feedback on is how many people would like to see a simple, seamless system where we have health care coverage just by virtue of living in the United States of America. How many people would consider that to be a positive thing? It's a complicated system. We have Medicaid, we have Medicare, we have Veterans Health Insurance, we have health insurance through the exchange, we have health insurance through companies, and when people go through life and move from company to company, it's always shifting. There's two things that I would really like to see. I'd like to see a national health care system where you were automatically covered, with people having the option to opt out if they prefer to keep the insurance that they have. Because a lot of people have negotiated insurance, they like their insurance they have now. I don't think anybody should be forced to change. So I have a bill called Choose Medicare that means it's available if you want it, a national system for everyone of every age. The second thing is to take on the high price of medicines in the United States. Anybody concerned about the high price? Well, we pay more than citizens in any other developed country because we don't negotiate the price, and every other country does. And this is outrageous because we as Americans spend more taxpayer money on basic research that is the foundation for new drugs than any other country. More than Canada, Australia, the European nations, Japan, and so forth. So we should get the best prices, not the worst. Now, I have a bill that's the gouging on drug prices. It basically says you can't charge Americans more than the average price that you charge these other major developed countries. It's lingo of insurance, it's called a reference bill, because it references the prices in other countries. So President Trump was giving a speech about a year ago, and he said, I want to do a reference price, why should Americans pay more? So I had my team call up his team and say, hey, I've got a bill right here, ready to go. Unfortunately, a week later, the president chose not to pursue that approach. And it's a reflection on the power of money in our campaigns. The drug companies have a huge lobbying operation. There's something like 5 lobbyists for every member of Congress. And they put huge money into campaigns. The consequence is people are afraid to offend them. So I'm offending them all the time. But I haven't won the battle yet to get fair drug prices. But those are 2 of the things I'd like to see to change the system here. Now, are you here under a specific, like Rotary or foreign?
Yes program.
Which one?
Yes.
The YES program. Youth exchange, something?
And study.
Okay, cool. That's great. Thank you so much. I was an exchange student in high school. And it happened because in 6th grade, my school teacher, Mr. McMahon, he hosted an exchange student to come talk to us. And it was an American who had spent the summer in Japan. And in my community, nobody traveled. And my dad, a mechanic, we call our community. I thought, wow, somebody got to travel partway around the world. And the requirement was that you have 2 years of language. And I wasn't particularly interested in studying language at that point, but if that was the path to be eligible, as soon as I got to high school, signed up for 2 years of Spanish. And when I was interviewed, they said, well, where would you like to go? This is under the AFS exchange program. And I said, well, it's a strange question because I understand you just appoint us and our job is to go wherever you send, like we don't have a choice. And the person interviewing me said, yeah, that's right, you don't have a choice, but we still find it interesting to ask you where you'd like to go. So I said, well, I'd like to go someplace I'd never be able to go, somewhere like Africa. And lo and behold, when I was assigned, I was one of 6 students in the program to go to Africa, to Ghana. And I lived in a village with a very humble family. By that I mean their big prize was that they owned a bicycle. That's a very different world from the world we live in here. It's affected my whole life, my interest in international affairs and so forth. So I love exchange programs. It's great, and just for you to be and sharing your experiences from Albania. If you come through DC, come and meet JP on my team because she'd love to speak to you. She's married to an Albanian for her work in the Peace Corps, and she likes the chances to speak. So, okay, we're going to turn to your the first 3. So ignore those 3, and the ones that come after that: 027, 020, and 026. I might have you stir those up a little more. Those sound awfully close together. Any of those 3, we'll just go.
I just personally wanted to look you in the eyes and thank you. All of your work, and it's been really tough work. And I just want you to know there's a bunch of us who are behind you going, yeah, go. And we might not feel it all the time, but I just wanted to see you and go, thank you.
Not be mailed out to anywhere in Malheur County. The regional office in LA said the reasoning behind that was because we did not fit into their algorithm. My understanding is that is 4,000 households and at least 20% of those are Spanish speaking. And in Ontario we do match that. We have over 4,200 households and anywhere from 40 to 45% Spanish speaking. This is pretty discouraging to our committee, which is trying to reach those hard to count populations. And the timing is short. Like I said, we were informed yesterday. I was just asked to come here and ask, is there anything that you can do to ensure that our hard-to-count populations are treated equitably and that Ontario, Malheur County, and Eastern Oregon receive fair funding and representation during the census time.
So thank you for raising, Peter, right?
Yes.
Thank you for raising it here. I want to introduce Jessica.